Thank you for joining us here today in this history moment. I'm so honored to share your precious memory and experiences as a 31st president of KSEA. First question is, what was your motivation for actively participating in KSEA? I know you're very much involved in KSEA in every aspect of everything.
Thank you for your nice comment, and I appreciate this opportunity to express myself. I always believe that KSEA is a very good organization to promote fraternity among Korean American scientists, engineers in this country. And also it promotes fraternity, interaction between us and those counterparts in Korea. And at the beginning, because of the difference in the technology, the state and economy between U.S. and Korea, mainly that KSEA members benefited Korea. However, today, because of Koreans' global achievement in economy and technology, now many of us here in this country are benefiting from Korea as well. KSEA was under inquiry of FBI for possible lobbying activity by KSEA all members for Korea. KSEA membership was really dropping, and its reputation in Korea was at the lowest point. It was difficult to raise funds and difficult to manage. I decided to devote myself to revive KSEA because I've been selfish like many of us, that concentrating only on my professional achievement in this country. And when I reached 60, toward the end of my career, I decided to devote myself. So I spent 2 full years, basically, almost full time for KSEA since I was elected to be the president.
Yeah, even though you've gone through all those hard times, those years, but I know that you have a lot of accomplishments, especially the first thing that you started at that time. So what do you think is the most proud achievement during your time?
Yeah, the most important thing I say that I set out to really revive and change KSEA. That's why I accepted the nomination to become president. And a number of things I wanted to do. And the first thing was to establish English bylaw so that the organization can function formally and then register in the United States as a formal non-profit professional organization. And I was 31st president. And for 30 years, it operated only with the Korean bylaws that were drafted by the founding fathers. They're good, but needed to change, and needed to have English bylaws so that we can be a formal organization in the United States, and also to reflect all the changes made during 30 years. So there had been effort to establish English bylaws, but never successful because nobody really spent that much time to really translate the entire thing. It was done piecemeal here and there, by different people. So it had never had organization, had never had a unified terminology. So I basically did translate the whole thing, and based on previous work, and also we hired a lawyer, a real corporation lawyer, to review and come out with a legal document. And this all with the executive committee's approval and support. I couldn't do by myself. It was all done with the committee, EC approval and support. So the lawyer drafted legal bylaw, and she presented that at the council meeting. Council meeting was usually held at UKC only for a few hours, and it could not transact any important issues. So in order to do this, we had a 2-day weekend council meeting separate, and we had a very long 1.5 day, very detailed discussion, and it was overwhelmingly approved. 35 approval, only 3 objection, one abstention. So it was approved really in good spirit, and then it was later approved by the entire members by mail balloting. Again, my recollection, and all those people approved except 3. So yeah, so it was really my I feel that my contribution. I also wanted to translate Korean policies into English, and I discussed with the lawyer, and she said policy is the best word. So after I finished my term as president, I volunteered to serve on rules committee, and again, somebody had to do whole thing. And Professor Kun-suk Hyun and we probably spent 1 month each, and then we really spent a lot of time on our computer and translated the policy, established English policy. So I'm very happy about that too.
How could you do that? Because you were the professor at the time. Did you even have enough time?
I retired by then already.
Oh, that's
I'm
good
not
for
young.
you. That's
So,
good for everybody.
yeah, I really spent my time for KSEA, almost full time.
Yes, I think I heard you did a lot of good things for staff members too at the time.
Yes, those are 2 things, and then when I took over, there were 2 staff members. They worked full time, but they had a part-time status, so they don't really have. It's not they're bad, anything like that, but any part-timer is not going to have the loyalty and dedication of full-time employee with a career path. So I had a discussion with them, and I had a discussion with the EC members, and converted their job status to professional, non-exempt employees with a salary, annual salary, but no overtime. But that way, they worked as a professional. They worked overtime if necessary. They worked weekends if necessary. So I think that really changed their attitude, and I found a big difference in their dedication and loyalty immediately after that change was made.
Yeah, but as long as they have good salary, everybody will be happy.
Yeah, the salary was decided based on what they made over the years, including overtime pay. But in order to make that much money, they had to always justify overtime over the years. So because I offer them the salary or the overall total income they made before over the years, including overtime. Now salary, they don't have to do that, so they were happy.
So did you make any systematic change, like HQ positions?
Yes, I did. Yeah, people just cannot work independently. They have different ability, and somebody has to be in charge. The officers here, they're all voluntary. They seldom come to headquarters, so somebody has to be in charge. So I established the management structure at the headquarters, appointing one person to be the administrative manager responsible for all headquarters activities and personnel. So that way somebody is responsible.
Yeah, we've gone through like almost half century, and yes, and another half century will depend on the next generation. Do you have any words or advice?
Yes. Yeah. If I have time before I go on to the next topic, and I'd like to make a very short statement on a few more things. That is what I did. And at the time, as I said, that KSEA was under investigation of FBI as a possible lobbying organization for Korea. And when I came here first, after becoming president-elect, and I really saw the appearance that the hallway was full of Korean National Laboratory pictures on the wall. KSEA was difficult to find, and was an office next to Costco president's office, and and it really had an appearance of sub-organization of Costco. So I talked about it and discussed with the Korean authority and managed to expand KSEA office to have a new lobby and converting Costco president office to KSEA president office, and then decorating the new lobby with the logo and other mementos to look important, really, and then also to make sure that it doesn't look like a Costco sub-organization. So we now have, as you get off the elevator, you don't see any pictures of Korean National Lab. You see KSEA name, same size as a Costco. I made sure that is done. So I did that.
You did a lot of work.
Thank you.
In terms of
Yeah.
external and internal system change.
Yeah. And a couple more things very quickly is that that I also held UKC in Seoul, Korea, jointly with the KOFST World Congress. They always want us to come there, but because of the expense and difficulty of organization, that it was not done that often. And I agreed, and we held UKC in Korea by paying virtually all airfares. That is a way of motivating KSEA members to be faithful and active and to attract more members. And the other one was that the membership database is very important because we promote interaction between members, and they couldn't do it. It was managed by membership director remotely. Headquarters didn't have any access, and it was handled by part-time workers, and they don't have much interest. So it was difficult to obtain active member list, correct and updated one. I think that was the problem in balloting, because it was difficult to really have all correct one. So we started web-based interactive membership database, and I'm glad that it was carried out over the years after my tenure, and it developed into current really nice database. So I'm very happy to see that.
Thanks a lot for establishing the
Thank you.
membership
Yeah.
database.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's go back to
So
the
to your next questions, okay. Yeah. Sorry that
That's okay.
that delayed. I don't really have much to say to the next generation, and they're doing very well. I'm very happy to see the progress and achievement of KSEA nowadays. I think that many counselors, they become counselor or committee members, and they don't really take that job seriously. So it's an honor, but honor comes with responsibility. They should take that responsibility very seriously. I learned from the lawyer that counselors are equivalent to U.S. Congress men and women. So they have a fiduciary duty. So they have to really study, understand every issue before they cast their vote. So it's very important. And the important items like bylaws and policies should not be done by email balloting. Email balloting is inexpensive, quick, but those cannot be done in my mind because U.S. Congress will never accept mail balloting. They have to cast their vote in person. In fact, then I feel that any changes made in bylaws or policies done by mail balloting, I wonder whether that's really acceptable. Yeah. And this is what I like to say, that
that's very important.
they have to take.
Encouraging the young generation at least to read bylaws and the policies and willingly to learn the history of KSEA.
Yeah, that's right. Well, I'm not saying that the history inhibits or limits their ability to do new things. It's just that they need to really take history seriously.
To expand.
Right, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, thank you very much.